You'll manage. We right to go? Okay, I'm here with COVID Commander Jerome Weimar to talk about today's numbers and some business support. And then Jerome will take questions about health matters. I'll take questions about business and other matters. And we do have we've got an hour before we have to be at other things. There are 23 new cases in today's numbers, 21 local and 2 interstate acquired. 2 cases are in hospital. 45,408 people were tested yesterday and 25,418 vaccinated in state clinics. I think about 55,000 all up, so that's a great number, second highest daily vaccine number for the year. In terms of business support, we have been once again in extremely fruitful conversations with the Commonwealth. Over the last 24 hours, the Premier and the Prime Minister had conversations yesterday, as did Treasurer Pallas and Treasurer Frydenberg. And we are very grateful for the ongoing spirit of cooperation in which the Commonwealth is approaching the matter of business and income support, and it allows us to provide the package that we are announcing today. So in recognition of the fact that the regions are open at this stage, this is a package of $367 million to support more than 100,000 predominantly metropolitan Melbourne businesses affected by a second week of lockdown. We have put $1.4 billion plus into bank accounts since the May-June lockdown commenced. So that's the benefit of the automatic payment process that we are undertaking for the vast majority of businesses that are receiving our support. There are 3 key elements of the package, 2 of which involve automatic payments, and the third a further boost to the hardship fund, which I'm pleased to say will open today. Under the Business Cost Assistance Program Round 3 Metro, there's an additional $271 million for $2,800 grants to recipients of previous recipients of the Business Cost Assistance Program. That includes gyms, cafes, restaurants, catering services, hairdressers, dance and swim schools, tourism businesses, event businesses. Those payments will be made automatically, and we would expect that to occur within the next week. There is an additional top-up of the Licensed Hospitality Venue Fund of $55 million, and again, that will be automatic. We have adjusted those grant amounts in response to some feedback we've received in the last week about those restaurants in particular in the 100 to 200 seat range. So the threshold for the $10,000 grant is being reduced from 199 to 100. So for all of those with between 100 and 499 patrons, the payment will now be $10,000. It was previously $5,000 up to 200. So it's $5,000 up to 99. $10,000 for between 100 and 499 and $20,000 for venues with a capacity of 500 plus. So for those venues in that 100 to 200 range, that's an additional $5,000 in this week's package. We've also added $41 million to the already announced Small Business Hardship Fund. That was $139 million. That goes to $180 million. That will allow grants now of $10,000. It was previously at $8,000, and that will support up to 18,000 businesses across the state. That is a flat rate metro and regional, in recognition of the fact that they are businesses who have not previously been eligible to apply for support programs and have suffered severe impact. So to put that in some context, we're talking about businesses which have been allowed to trade, but which have been severely affected nevertheless. So for example, takeaway businesses, that operate in closed sites like shopping centres, businesses that have been open but their customers have been closed, for example, wholesalers to cinemas, tradies who can demonstrate that their work is in indoor restricted settings, businesses that have been severely impacted by restrictions that limit foot traffic, like pharmacists in the CBD. They are merely examples, but they are the sort of businesses that we believe will be able to demonstrate that significant reduction in turnover and are registered for GST. In regards to the COVID-19 disaster payment, the release that you see from Treasurer Frydenberg, Treasurer Pallas and myself makes clear now that businesses that do not qualify for Victorian government support, as well as metropolitan workers who lose hours, are eligible for those payments. That is now, to the extent that there was ever any doubt, that is now crystal clear. $450 for 8 to 20 hours lost, $750 for 20 hours or more lost. That is administered through Services Australia, and importantly, I think you might recall at last week's press conference I indicated that there was some concern that there are people who are on other Commonwealth transfer payments who had previously been, as a consequence of that, ineligible for the disaster payment. That's now been tweaked by the Commonwealth, so that if you are in receipt of a Commonwealth transfer payment, you can receive an additional $200 a week as a disaster payment on top of your Commonwealth welfare payment of whatever sort that is. So that is the nub of the package we're announcing today. As I say, $367 million in total. That important change for those medium-sized hospitality businesses. That increase of to $10,000 for the hardship fund for those businesses who have been unable to obtain other support, and the fact that that fund will open for applications today.